Have you ever heard of the Fleischer Superman cartoons? They were a series of animations about how iconic superhero Superman, with 17 episodes produced over the course of 1940 to 1943. The episodes produced from 40 to 42 were done by Fleischer Studios, and with the few episodes up until 1943 were produced by the famous studios. For those of you who not in the know, these Superman cartoons are often regarded as the pinnacle of Western animation. They certainly have a high quality and they are quite memorable despite there only be 17 shorts produced. Well, supposedly there was a lost episode. DC Comics and Paramount Pictures vehemently denied the existence of any such episodes, going by the accounts of those few people who claimed to have seen this lost short. It's understandable why DC and Paramount wouldn't want this cartoon to be associated with them. From what little information exists, this cartoon was apparently commissioned in 1947 by the U.S. War Department soon after the Cold War began. They all resemble all the staff from the famous studios who worked on the Superman shorts and tells them they wanted a propaganda piece. The short doesn't seem to have been completed, and it was never shown to any audience. Yet somehow it found its way online. Those who have claimed to watch this short say they found it on a torrent site. The site varieties for each person, with all the other episodes bundled onto it. The other 17 episodes are normal, utterly unaltered from the originals, yet when they speak of the lost short, they are overcome with a sense of nausea and dread. The episode begins in much the same way as the other cartoons did, with the opening credits and the same heroic music. There are all the other intros. The section of the opening where the narrator describes the destruction of Krypton and Superman's origin seems to be unchanged, though some viewers claim that the narrators sound more aggressive this time around. The episode opens with the Daily Planet office, with Lois Lane and Clark Kent having a conversation. All seem to agree at the color palette of the episode seems to be dull compared to the other shorts. But some say this is simply due to the age of recording, while the others say the dull colors are due to budget issues. Clark is standing beside Lois's desk, while Lois herself is looking over the newest issue of the Daily Planet. Clark asks, "Hard to believe that it's been 2 years since the end of World War II, eh, Lois?" People agree that it seems to be the same actor from the old shorts, Bud Collyer, but the narrator from before says he sounded aggressive and a tad little afraid when he reads his lines. He seems the world is safe for now thanks to the axes dealt with him. "I wouldn't be so sure about that, Kent," Lois replied. Joan Alexander, the voice actress of Lois, is noted to sound rather shaky and nervous when she reads her lines. "Have a look at the story I got done the front page." The camera moves around to show the headline of the story, "Red Menace working on nuclear weapons." "It seems that the comedies are conspiring against America," said Lois. It was at that moment when the animation shifted. Now the animation looked as if it was black and white storyboards, have been simple and plastered onto tape, choppy, stop-motion quality, lasting for the next 25 to 27 seconds or so. The audio for the storyboard segment is incredibly fuzzy and distorted, and the people who have watched this lost episode gave varying accounts of what the Clark and Lois were saying. Most people agree what Lois says Superman should put a stop to those dirty commies. What's even more bizarre about all this art shift is that the people claim Clark is starting directly at the viewer during this point of the short. Others claim he has no eyes at all while during this segment. Some say that the storyboards are such a poor quality that it's impossible to tell where Clark is even looking. Those who have watched this episode state that the episode fades to static at the end of the bizarre storyboard segment, and when the cartoon returns to normal and it shows Superman talking with the President Trump Man. Despite the normally fantastic nature of Fleischer's Superman and shorts, this one segment is noted to be the oddly somber tone. Low, tense piano music is playing throughout the conversation, but it's so soft at times that people forget it's even playing. The Oval Office is filled with thick darkness, as if the conversation is taking place at either dusk or early dawn, with very little light present to illuminate the characters. You understand what has to be done, Superman, President Truman said. What's odd is, to this day, nobody has been able to identify the voice actor for this character. Some claim it's the real Harry Truman, but that's impossible, isn't it? Of course, Mr. President, Superman replied. I understand the threats of Soviets pose. I'll do the patriotic duty of any American. And what can I do to help stop them? The camera focuses on Trumpman, and many people note that his face is more detailed than ever it was earlier. More detailed than any character of the entire short. Good to know, Superman. America wouldn't stand idly by and let another threat rise up against us. I want you to strike those dirty commies down like a hammer of God and show them what they were up against. The people who have given the accounts to the lost episode, all of them differing views and opinions on Superman. All this behavior be widely out of character for him. They don't seem to believe that Superman is acting some sort of government agent, nor they have believed Superman is using his powers back to attack nation of people. As the conversation between Trumpman and Superman ends, the screen cuts to static again, before fading back in and just showing Superman flying through the air. The segment is utterly devoid of sound, save for the small crackles that are just barely noticeable. He flies directly over the one-land mess, with Russia written all over it. Almost as if the images was taken from Atlas, Superman suddenly dive-bombs straight down, with an almost deafening sonic boom, breaking the silence from earlier. Just as Superman impacts against the large cartoon representation of Moscow, the art style shifts again, and this time it appears to be a stock black and white footage of Hiroshima bomb exploding, showing the mushroom cloud ballooning up in the air with a distorted version of the Soviet Union's national anthem plays in the background. It's from this point on that the people who saw this lost episode begin to recall the nausea they felt, while the most of the people mentioned watching the destruction of Russian landmarks at the Superman's hands. Some who had actually watched his segment in slow motion have found some medical imagery implanted into the footage. The imagery is graphic to say the least, but it doesn't appear for more than a frame or two. And for those who have seen the subliminal imagery, describe it as being grainy black and white photographs, likely taken from World War II. The images include a picture of a mass gravel that identified concentration camp, and the American soldier with the bayonet jammed into his throat, a picture of several people being torched by a flamethrower, and lastly 3-frame long pictures of several charred corpses in the ruins of Hiroshima. The last episode of the scene described as being equally traumatic. Superman stands on the mound of flaming rubble with a deformed caricature of a version of the Stalin cowering before him. Superman lifts him firmly by the neck like a vice grip, causing the cartoon Stalin to make a realistic gagging and choking sounds. He flails against Superman, but of course, as Superman, he would do nothing to break free. Superman smiles, not a demonic ruckus or psychopath smile, an honest, friendly smile that Superman is best known for. In his context, such a warm smile is just as disturbing. The camera zooms in slowly, Superman smiling all the while, and his eyes slowly start to grow various shades of red and gold. While nobody can feel the sympathy for Stalin for what has happened next, for the simple fact that Stalin, people to agree that his fate is overly graphic and gruesome. A burst of heat and light explodes out of Superman's eyes. The scene that seems to go into slow motion as we can see the caricature of Stalin's skin being peeled off his body and the force of Superman's heat vision. The force peels off Stalin's muscle tissue and then vaporizes his organs until he was simply a skeleton left. Then his bones break apart and are reduced to dust, scattered by the wind. People have noted that while these shorts may have normal high quality, the scene is incredibly detailed. The camera zooms into a close-up of Superman's smiling face, the fires of a ruined city flickering behind him. He looks directly at the viewer and winks. It's at this moment that the image of Superman winking frees up, and the warped music lingers on one drawn-out note. This lasts for a little over 7 seconds, and then the episode ends. People are conflicted about why this episode exists in a state like this. The most common belief is that the famous studios protested at the War Department wanted to turn Superman into, and made the short overly graphic so it would never see the light of day. Others saying that while the studio clips in this episode are real, the animation is simply an elaborate hoax. With the correct resources, anything could be done, right? The last mystery about this lost episode is that as soon as a person finishes watching it, the file completely deletes itself from the viewer's computer and leaves no trace of its existence. If said viewer attempts to find the same torrent file again, they simply can't do, no matter what the site they checked. Any attempts to find the uploader of the torrent, assuming it's being done by just one person, have ended in a failure. And that, my pretties, was Superman Lost Superman Cartoon. A Superman Lost Cartoon creepypasta. This story was written by Crossbones116. My final thoughts on this story. This was actually a half-decent, really well-made Superman creepypasta. I'm not gonna lie, this was actually a half-decent Superman creepypasta. And I definitely do have to say it's a really interesting concept for a story. I mean, well, it's not cliched. It's basically about the old Superman cartoon about this lost episode that, it seems believable. I could definitely say right now it is believable in a sense because there's a lot of believability in this. Like, it's not cliched or your typical lost episode. It actually fits out well. And that it definitely really helps, which I personally really thought it was enjoyable because it really did help out with the story. Like, the concept of it, everything about it was just flat out amazing. And it definitely helps out. So I definitely do have to say that it's a really neat, well done story. I personally really thought this was enjoyable. It's a great concept. I personally really enjoyed it. I really do have to say that, to the author, you did a really good job with this story. You put a lot of time and effort into it. Like the grammar of this is really good. I personally really enjoyed the grammar. I thought the grammar was really well done and it's explained very well. Like, I love the detail that is in this. It just helps out with the story, and it's just a really amazing concept. So, yeah, I mean, I'll leave a link in description for you guys if you guys want to go check out this story. But I definitely have to say, the grammar is really good. The same with the sentence structuring. Everything about this was just flat out amazing. Like, it's just a really great concept. I personally really enjoy it. I thought it was a really well done story. So, yeah, I definitely do have to say it's definitely a really good one. So, I personally really do enjoy it. I thought it was a really neat, well done story. Like, I personally really have to say that this is definitely a pretty good creepypasta. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, I personally do have to say that it's a really neat and well done. I personally really enjoyed this, so I thought it was really good. Like, everything. I mean, this is very believable, so I could definitely see this as being a very believable concept for a story. So I do have to say, I personally really do think that, it's really well done. It definitely really helps out with the story, and I do definitely do say, right now that this is just a really great story. I personally really enjoy this. So, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'll leave a link in the description for this story, like I said before, in case if you guys want to go check out this story if you haven't. So, yeah. Anyways, I guess with that being said, that being the case, like I'm always going to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story, I'm going to give this one um, a 10 out of 10. A really amazing, really well done story. It's really neat and well done. I like the concept of it. I thought it was really well done, and it's just a really great concept for a story. I mean, it's really neat and well done. I mean, it's a really, really great story. So I definitely do have to say, I do recommend this story. It's a pretty good Superman creepypasta, and I mean, I really do appreciate that it didn't go into cliche territory, if that makes sense. Everything about this was just flat out amazing, and it definitely helped out a lot more with this. So I definitely do have to say it's a really great story. Now, anyways, with that being said, what did you guys personally think of this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally helped make this story a lot better. Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed this channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow me on my my Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Blue Sky. Follow me on DeviantArt, as well as follow me on my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, as the links to those will be in the About page section, so you guys can go follow me on there. And that's pretty much all I have to really say, but if I'm missing something, please let me know. And as always, this is only my own personal opinion. If you disagree with it, that's fine too. Now, as always, I'll be catching you guys all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, roll the outro, because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.